Hey, welcome back. It's time once again to meet our community, the Hispanic business community here in Orange County. Powered by the Orange County Hispanic Chamber of Commerce and Orange County's only community radio station, OC Talk Radio, streaming live from our studios here at the University of California, Irvine's Beale Applied Innovation Center. With something hot on the plate today here, tell us more, John Gutierrez.
Thank you, Paul, and welcome everybody to our community podcast show powered by the Orange County Hispanic Chamber of Commerce. I'm your host, John Gutierrez, Senior Vice President here, and we want to thank everybody for joining us on another show. We have another exciting show of a new member of our chamber. We did their ribbon cutting, their grand opening this weekend. It's called HAUTE LEGS, and we're going to talk more with Vanessa and Sarah here, who have joined us. They're the CEO and the COO, and let's welcome Sarah Lindenfelser and Vanessa Benavides. Welcome, ladies.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having us on the show.
Yes, maybe move up the mic a little bit towards you, just towards you. There you go.
Is that better?
Yes.
Awesome.
All right. Well, let's get into it. I know that I want to let everybody know we want to thank our president, our former chairman of our board, some of our members. They came out this weekend to support your grand opening, your ribbon cutting. What was that like, opening the whole new business?
For me, I think it was super surreal, just to see everyone come out and just all the love and support that we had from obviously family and friends, but also the community. And I think it really has been a dream come true. And I don't know, we were just super stoked. And I know, Sarah, I think you probably feel the same way.
Surreal was the exact same word I was going to use. Thank you.
Yeah.
Well, I got to tell you, I know you guys are a little bit shy about being on the podcast show, but at this new venture, this new business, which of course, correct me if I'm wrong here, it's a thrift shop and a community creative space. Let's share with the listeners, what does that mean? What is, because first of all, I love San Juan Capistrano. We used to live there for a few years, my wife and I and my kids, and we love it. Share with our listeners where it's located and how it came about that you chose this area, this space.
Do you want me to take it, or you want to start out the location?
Well, the location is in like you said, the historic district of Los Rios. And we actually stumbled upon it a little bit on accident. So it feels like serendipitous would be a good word. Vanessa and I were in the area looking at another space that we thought might be available for us to open up shop. And I had asked her if she had ever gone down to the Los Rios Street, because growing up in the area, it's always been one of my favorite places to go. I take my kids down there to the tea house for birthday parties and to Zoomers. It's magical. So Vanessa...
I've never been.
Yeah, she had never been. We walked down there and we were checking out the street, and we had noticed that there was a sign in front of the house, and we're like, let's go in. And
which is a historic home, right?
It is a historic home. It's the Lupic Homes home, and literally we walked in, and we're both kind of energy people. I know we'll get into it a little bit, but we're both yogis, and I don't know. We walked in, we both looked at each other, and right away we were just like, "This is it. We have to have this space." I mean, the energy around it, just the people walking by, everyone coming into the space. I don't know. It's
magnetic.
It really is. It's magical. Mm-hmm. And I think even you walking in, I mean, everyone that came by or everyone that has come by, it's really cool. We haven't been open for a week, right? But we've had comeback customers, and not by a little. I mean, we've had people even return 5-6 times to the space.
Wow.
And that's where we say that community space as well, because people actually enjoy being there, not just because of the passion and the purpose of what we're doing with thrifting, but also because it's a beautiful space to be. It's a historic space. I think there's a lot of great energy, and there's so much that we want to do with that space.
When I was there, I took a couple of videos, and first I was in the front door, and I liked the little waterfall you had there, right? Water's such a huge component, right, for yoga and relaxation, right? And so I took this video of the waterfall, and then it was just interesting to me to hear all the birds, right, and see all the plants, and then of course the train is in that area, so there's a lot of good energy from the folks waiting for the train. And so it just reminded me of this kind of like this movie. I went to Chico State up north in college. For me, it kind of took me back to Chico State in that small town, and it was like you said, the energy, right, was just very nice. I know there's a park right next to you.
Yes, right across the way.
A lot of people go there to go like walking with their kids and the strollers. I saw that. So there's already there's a lot of good synergy in
Right.
that area, right?
Yeah,
Um,
agreed.
so share with the listeners on how this came about, because I know the story, and I know Vanessa from high school. We went to Century High School, and I ran into you years later with your GoRN app, which is an amazing app that during the
Thank you.
pandemic did so much, right? So share with us maybe a little bit of what happened with the whole GoRN, the pandemic, and how this became such a huge component of now what you're doing in your life.
Yeah, sure. Thank you. So we'll start off. I had just launched this healthcare tech app called Goer, and being a nurse and in healthcare for over 20 years at that time.
Shout out to all the nurses,
Yeah,
right?
shout out.
All the hardworking nurses, medical people, because that pandemic, wow, right? So
Yeah,
it-
really stressful time. We went through a lot, all the caregivers, all the first liners, all of that. But during that time, we ended up getting a large contract with Mayor Garcetti's office, LA City and LA County, because of this app that we had created. We were really able to launch and increase a number of nurses to come in. I mean, we literally had just launched. We went from 105 nurses to over 800 nurses. And it's very like an Uber-S type healthcare app and platform, right? Like people can order them and the nurse shows up all cleared, certified, all compliance ready. And anyhow, during that time, we really had to ramp up. And like I said, there was a lot of need. And
did you say 96 locations earlier? Is
yeah,
that what you
that's
said?
how many we popped up. And
Wow.
in the matter of like 4 months, it was wild. I had a team of 12. Shout out to my GoRN team. They were just amazing. I mean, we were so small, but we were mighty. And I always kind of get emotional when I talk about it because we were 24/7, doing that contract no one wanted. They were talking to us at 10 o'clock at night because they were desperate. We all looked at each other because we're like,
Should we really do this?
yeah, we only have 105. They actually really need these nurses. I didn't create GoRN to be a registry or agency. I created it for the app, for the tech, for the platform for hospitals, which that's what we're doing now. But at the time, that's what they needed. We all looked at each other and were like, let's do it. No one else is going to do it. We're nurses for a reason. This is our service. We're going to do it. And even the non-nurses on our team, day and night, night and day. I didn't see my family for 4 months. Like, I didn't want to give them, because we were first liners. Like, we didn't know enough about it,
Of course.
All that to say.
Shout out to your kids and your family
Yes.
for understanding the struggle, right? The
Yeah.
process. And the reason why we're telling the story is because here at the Hispanic Chamber of Commerce, we're all about supporting small businesses as much as we have big corporations and mid-sized businesses. But I think it's a beautiful story to go into why you're doing what you're doing today,
Yes.
but why it was so important for you to obviously, I guess you could say from a therapeutic standpoint,
Yes.
right? Because all of this you went through during the pandemic, right? As a leader, as a team leader with your whole team. So kudos to your kids and your family, because those must have been
sure.
really tough times.
They were my biggest cheerleaders and totally grateful for them.
So you're going through this whole process, right?
Going through all of this, in the middle of all that, where I was renting, the house I was renting, they needed me to move because they were selling right away. I needed to be out in 14 days. Always wanted to live in South County. I love the beach. The ocean is a part of my soul. Love, love, love it. And I found this place. The first place I looked, I said, done. I don't have time to mess around. And the next thing I did was look for some sort of studio that I can exercise and get like my stress, anxiety, all that. That's where I found iHeart Yoga. That's in Dana Point. Shout out to
Shout out to
Yoga.
iHeart Yoga. Yes.
They were one of the only places that were open. And it was just my saving grace. I was going through a lot of anxieties, so much going on. It was my solace. It was my therapy.
Yes.
And being a nurse and caregiver, you have to take care of yourself in order to take care of others.
Yes.
And I always said, I was going sometimes twice a week, and we talk about Sarah even says she was there all the time. You're always around, and I was doing all the things, but it was a way for me to take care of me.
Yes.
And so they offer yoga teacher training classes, and I was like, hey, if I want to do this, because if I can give back just even 10% of what these yoga teachers, instructors did for me to the community, I want to do that. And so I did. I went through the teacher training program and became an instructor. I didn't teach right away because then everything started going back, focusing on Goer N and building the tech. But then, started doing a lot of cardio sculpt, which is Sarah's the cardio sculpt queen, and she'll talk about all her years in fitness and all that. But she also at that time started doing her own business and selling clothes out of her closet that she had, and I want her to go into that. But when I saw what she was doing, I became also one of her number one customers because I loved that concept. So we met at the yoga studio. Sarah was one of favorite instructors, and I don't know, we didn't really know tons of one another, but I loved what she was doing. And I'm a big hippie. I went to garage sales all the time with my grandfather growing up. It was one of my favorite memories. And I love the fact of, I love conscious shopping, thrifting, what it can do for our earth, how much it all gets junked, it's stressful, all that. And I started going with, carbon footprint, et cetera, et cetera. So that's where I was like, Sarah, we need to talk.
So
I have ideas. So I'll let Sarah take it from there because she's the one who really started Hot Legs and that concept.
So at what point were you already launching Hot Legs? When Vanessa ran into you, obviously she was one of your customers, but at the same time was part of the whole yoga community, right? And you were an instructor there, right?
I was an instructor. Yes, I've been teaching in South Orange County at various locations for almost a decade now. I love sharing what I can do with the community. It's fun to make people feel good in their skin and their bodies. I love music. For me, the teaching, it brings me back to my days when I was a competitive dancer. So I always tell people it's selfish because it's as much for me as it is for them. But
what does it do for you, Sarah, when you're in that? Because I seen you the other day. And I know you're somewhat shy here and all that, but that day, I mean, at the studio or at the new location,
oh, you ain't seen nothing yet.
You had the whole, you guys had the drumsticks and everything.
Yeah.
What does it do for you as an instructor and the energy you put out, the energy you get? So our listeners can hear and hopefully they can understand why it's important to come visit you all, right? From a health and wellness standpoint, like Vanessa mentioned, if you're going through stress or whatever it is, anxiety or mental, which a lot of people are facing right now, right?
Yes.
During these tough times, right?
Yes.
What does that do with the connection between you as an instructor and your students?
Oh boy, I have so many things I can say. Well, initially for me, it just began as reconnecting to myself when I started teaching, because I was a dancer for so long. I was a competitive dancer, so that was a huge part of my life. And dance kind of saved me through high school because I had a little bit of a dysfunctional family situation, which I won't go too much into right now. But
dance was
life for me.
Yes.
And after I turned 18, I couldn't compete anymore because you have to be in a certain age group. And I went off to college. I moved to San Francisco. I went to USF, and I didn't dance there. And honestly, I was having bad dreams all the time, of me competing or me dancing. I'm like, I need to start doing this again. So when I started doing group fitness, I'm like, wow, you dance to the beat? I can do that. And I became a stalker of the gym. Anyway. So eventually, I don't even know if I'm answering your question anymore.
But it was therapeutic for you.
It's a passion. Yeah, it's passionate. It's, I feel it in my heart. The music does something to me. I say things. I don't plan anything I'm going to say. It's just
you go into a zone.
Yes, I go into a zone, and I completely forget about everything else in the world. So for me, it's like a moving meditation. I'm like, everybody needs to try this, because I call myself the sunshine bully. I'm like, everybody needs to be able to feel this good. I'm like, you guys need to try this. And I didn't know if I was going to say this, but within the last year, the mental health thing, I had found out that I am mildly autistic and I have ADHD. So a lot of my life, have been making sense lately, which is, it's crazy. It's been a wild ride, but
it's great that
This is one of my special interests. So I can focus on, teaching these classes for hours and forget about eating. Like, it's just,
Yes.
and hot legs is the same thing, because fashion, it's always been another special interest of mine. So, during the pandemic, while Vanessa was busy saving people, I was busy saving myself, because I was going through a divorce with my husband at the time. I have two young daughters.
Shout out to the young daughters.
Yeah, shout out
And
to
to your
girl
kids, Vanessa,
power.
too.
Yes.
It's all about girl power. And during that time period, which was, tough enough as it was, I had found out that my mom had cervical cancer, and
Wow.
it had been stage 4. It had spread to her lungs. She was afraid of the doctor, so go to the doctor, everybody. And within 9 months, she had passed away. And it was one of the saddest things.
Sorry to hear that.
Oh, thank you. I mean, I've done a lot of work.
So
to
you were
get through
going
it, but
through a lot at the time.
I was going through a lot, and I felt like I was losing everything. Everything was crumbling around me. The person I loved the most was falling apart before my very eyes. And, like, it hurt. It was like, I don't know, it hurt.
Yes.
And so my mom, she had, drinking alcohol was one of her coping mechanisms for stress, and that's what I saw. And after she passed away, like, COVID hit, and, like, everyone was like, oh, we're drinking at 10 a.m. I'm like, oh, are we? Okay.
Yeah.
And, slowly it started to become a dependence, and I started to get scared, because I was like, this is not me. I'm repeating a pattern that I saw. I know what it feels like to grow up. I've got 2 daughters. I cannot let this happen to my kids. And honestly, like, I'll say this. 3 days before I was hospitalized, I was on my knees in my closet praying to God for help. And
Wow.
I ended up in the hospital. My lung had collapsed. Like, I just was not taking care of myself. I didn't care. Like, it hurt.
Wow.
So, I mean, I was ashamed at first. I'm not really shameful anymore, because I know you can work through these things.
Exactly.
If you care, you can do it. So,
And I can relate with this, Sarah, because during the pandemic, I was actually diagnosed with prediabetes.
oh,
So
yeah.
during that time, I had to make major changes with my health.
Mm-hmm.
And I stopped drinking soda, which
Yep.
I used to drink 2 or 3 a day. I stopped eating a lot of the sugar, bad stuff, which before I used to eat all the time.
Mm-hmm.
And thankfully, I lost right away like 40 pounds. All my levels of whatever blood and sugar changed.
Good for you.
But it's tough. It's tough
It
to make
is.
those changes.
It is.
It's very, very tough. And your body goes through the whole transition, right?
Yes,
I went
yes.
through that, so I know what you're talking
Yes.
about.
Exactly.
mhm.
And that will bring me right into the hot legs part. So thank you. So I had also lost 40 pounds with, unintentionally, after giving up, the alcohol and like the stress, I was holding on to so much stress just from
Yeah,
everything in my life, and the pressure I was putting on myself and, like, people I cared about. It slowly started melting off, and I had all of these clothes in my closet with the tag still on. I'm like, I had a lot of body issues before. I would buy clothes and I wouldn't wear them. I worried too much about what I looked like at the time. And one day, my boyfriend, he's in the military, he was out of town doing something for the reserve, and I was like, what do I need? What am I going to do today? And I just decided to rip all of the clothes out of my closet, and I had like a mountain on my floor in my bedroom, and it sat there for like a month, and I'm like, this does not look good. I'm like, I can't just donate all this stuff. And all my friends at the gym, they always kind of poke fun at me because I have a new outfit on all the time, because I love fashion and textiles and colors. And it was always about, the fashion element, not, trying to look cute or whatever. That's just a side effect. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just
shout
kidding.
out to your boyfriend, who's also in the military, because we like to thank all of our military people all the time for their
yeah.
service. So shout out to him, because I'm sure he played a crucial component in all of this, right? Because
he was through it all.
there. He
They're
was there
through it all.
during your those tough times, right? And so that is kind of where Hot Legs was born, huh?
Yeah.
You said, you know what? Let me start this business,
Yes.
right?
Yeah. So what do I say? I have a degree in communication studies, so I know a little bit about marketing, and I was like, how am I going to what is going to make my friends want to buy these clothes from me? You have to make them look inviting, you know? So I started setting them up really nice and styling outfits together. I bought myself a mannequin. I named her Marge. Her
Now
name's
she
Marge.
has a family.
Now she has a whole family. Yes.
This is great. So it's interesting. We go into the whole Go RN, the nurse, everything the nurses were going through, the pandemic, right? You obviously were going through a lot at the same time, right? It's just interesting, the whole merge of this all, right? Meanwhile, both of you are going through a lot from an emotional standpoint, from a mental standpoint, right? And here you are taking her classes,
Yep.
right? And here you are. I'm sure your students probably didn't know half of this stuff going on in your life, Sarah. I can imagine, right? Like you're this instructor, you're the leader, you're the powerhouse, but you're going through a lot, right? I mean, you had lost your mom.
Yeah.
I mean, to cancer. I mean, that's just devastating. So HAUTE LEGS is born, and at what point? What happens? Vanessa says to you, you know, I'm your number one customer. Let's do this.
Well, I noticed patterns, so I'm pretty good at noticing patterns. So I noticed that Vanessa had been, you know, one of my biggest customers right out the gate, and I'm like, man, she's just so supportive. She's very supportive in the yoga community. Always showed up to my crazy events. One time I hosted a disco 90s night. The
All
room was
out.
packed. It was hot. It was summer. The lights were off. We had glow lights going, and Vanessa shows up in a pair of jeans from the 90s
From the
and does the
90s.
whole
Bucket
workout.
hat, the whole thing.
I
Wait,
was
you
like-
have jeans from the 90s?
Oh yeah.
Oh,
How
yeah.
is that?
In mom jeans, she had a
The mom
bucket hat.
jeans, the bucket hat, like
Really?
the whole
I
whole
was
effect.
like-
Funny. That's
I
so
was like,
funny.
that's dedication.
Anything
I'm like, that's
worth
something I would do.
doing, right? Anything worth doing.
That's funny you show up in 90s jeans, because my wife and I were just talking about a charity event we want to do for my birthday.
Right.
And it's going to benefit Chalk Children's Hospital because I sit on the Latino Advisory Board. And we were talking about doing an 80s, 90s theme, you know? And we were just talking about, I wonder how many people still can find this stuff. So it's out there, huh? They still have
Oh,
some of this
come to our
80s,
thrift shop.
Yeah, the
Oh, really?
The 90s
Okay.
are back.
They are back. and
We're
they're
going to send everybody
strong.
to your shop.
Patchwork,
Yes.
stitchwork, bucket hats, you name it.
Everything.
Yeah, they're a hot commodity.
Hot commodity.
That's
Spelled
right.
HAUTE.
Did you guys hear that?
That's
You
how
heard
it's
it
spelled
here.
now.
So today, as a business, what is the goal? What is the future? What are you guys looking forward to?
Do you want me to take this for now? So, you know, primarily, obviously, we are the thrift shop. We started off as an online thrift shop and, you know, through Shopify and all that. We have a very big vision to really have a true impact in terms of the thrifting part of it, conscious shopping, trying not to get as many textiles into the junkyard. I mean, just outrageous. The carbon footprint, all of it. Being in tech, I like to throw tech at everything. So we are looking to launch our tech and app out at the end of the year, so that you can utilize that to do your shopping. But really cool part of it is that it'll actually track the carbon footprint of that textile. So whether you're donating or you're shopping, you'll be able to see what all those metrics and data equate to. So we always make, you know, I think I gave you this example. In order to make a pair of jeans, it takes 1,800 gallons of water. 1,800 to produce enough cotton to make a pair of jeans. Wow. And so if you donate a certain amount, it'll calculate for you, hey, you saved this much gallons, this of water, or if you bought the same. So it tracks the carbon footprint and gives you all the data, because I think, to myself and to a lot of people, that's a feel good. Like, that's not just that you're thrifting and you're doing conscious shopping, but actually you're able to see the real data behind it. There's a lot of really cool things that we want to put in the tech, but we're super stoked to do that. But
I
I think
did see your mission is our mission is to earn back, give back, or let it go here.
yes,
Which is what you're talking about right now, right?
Yeah, the thrift part of it. And so Sarah's always so great with words. She's, always, doing the things, but it's true. And I think the bigger part of it as well is that we are truly wanting to take this concept nationwide and to have a true impact and have a scalability part of it is, back when we first started to recycle water bottles and cans, it was a pilot. remember, and I don't know if you remember, I totally remember,
I
and now
remember, yeah.
it's a thing.
Yeah.
We are actually trying to do that with textiles,
Yeah.
and we're asking our community, our cities, our regions to, to do this with us, where Hot Legs will actually provide a bin, to whoever we partner with or whoever is willing to do this, once a month. Because the hardest thing about donating, even to any other, like our friends at the Goodwill or
Yes.
Salvation Army or whatnot, you still have to take it, and it's a thing. But I want it to be as simple as, okay, once a month, we already know we're recycling textiles. Let's just put it in our bin that's in our front yard.
Okay.
And then when we do that, everything we actually give, that's the give back. Whatever we sell, all the revenues, we give 30% back to our partners, our give partners.
It's great.
And so we partner up with a lot of different types of give partners. Half of it goes to what we call our earth give partners, green give partners.
Yes.
But the other half are community services, etc. So with this pilot program, we would actually be giving that 30% back to whatever city or region that we're piloting or partnering in doing this. That way they can utilize it to plant trees, water filtration for their community, solar paneling, and then the other half they can utilize for whatever they want. Also putting it in part of the app too, giving it a little competitive piece. Hey, you're Belinda. This is what you're able to do this year, in terms of data and all
She's
that.
got to put the competitive.
You
That's
do,
a sports
where
person in her.
Thank you. But people like that. I mean, I know it's a joy, So anyhow,
I
that's
did
part
meet
of
a
it.
lady at your event. She works for the school district, right? The lady that was there. That's something you guys have been giving back.
Oh, yes.
Right?
So that was another part of it. So we are actually partnering with schools in our first one. So shout out to Fairmont, San Juan Capistrano. We are doing donation drives, and that's what we're giving back. So when we sell their clothing, we give 30% back
That's
to
great.
the schools.
To the
And
school.
we're doing this now. Other schools are starting to sign up, and we're so stoked to be able to do that. So we love to build ecosystems so that we can do this thrift exchange give back piece, and the community has been so great in donating as well.
So let me ask you this: if there's anybody watching or listening or sees this video later on YouTube, would you say to them, if you're involved with the school, connect them with us?
Yes.
And then obviously you'll schedule a meeting, and then you can
We'll
work
put it
this whole
together.
thing out. Yeah, work out a
all the
plan
details.
where it's a give back, but who knows? Maybe parents in that same school have all this extra stuff they can be donating to you, and it's kind of like a full circle, right? It'll go
Correct.
back into the school.
That's right.
As a fundraising program.
That's right. That's
Okay.
exactly it.
Okay.
And then the other part of our location is we do have this beautiful space that's open that we want it to be a creative space. So I don't know if you want to take that part and what we're doing with that.
Yes, we have a beautiful patio, and so far every morning we've been offering donation-based yoga and fitness classes.
First one's at 8:30, if I'm correct.
9 o'clock
9
now.
o'clock?
Yeah, we changed it, and I taught the one yesterday. It was so nice outside.
It's
The
beautiful.
train rolled by, and the birds were chirping, and the sun was out.
Very
and
nice.
The air smelled nice. Yeah, am I selling it to you yet? Yes.
Yes, no, it is very nice. I was there, and it's a
I
very
know, yeah,
nice,
sorry.
very nice.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah, it's so nice. And then also we are hoping to be able to use the space for other creative events and activities, such as like a wine and paint night or an embroidery workshop, or
Yes, we talked about possibly, just for everybody that's part of our chamber, we're looking to do like a mixer there, an event there. We'll
Events.
invite some of our wine partners or so forth. More than anything, we want to feature your business, have our members come by, because I think there's nothing like being there, right?
Yes.
We could talk about it all we want here, but until you're there, like I was recording the little waterfall, the smelling of the plants. There's so much beautiful
Lot of
plants,
greenery,
right?
yeah.
It's just like you're in another world. Sorry, Paul's giving me the stinky eye. Like, you got 2 minutes. Hurry
yes.
up.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a very serenity, like just nice environment. Obviously, you go into the boutique store there, and you see all the stuff, and then you walk in through the backyard, and you see this really nice area, and it's just so relaxing, right? And so it is a different place. You don't feel like you're in like the city.
No.
Like
It's like literally a little cottage in the woods.
Yes.
And
There
it's
you go.
beautiful. You won't get that feel anywhere. The lighting, the shading, the sun, it's almost perfect.
And it's by donation. Let's just make clear, right? You said
Correct.
if you come take a yoga class or one of these fitness classes, it's by donation, right?
That's right.
Which is very nice of you guys to do that.
Yes.
Now let me ask you, will you offer anything else like kind of like a cafe does, like eventually like a tea? Like I'm a big hot tea drinker.
Yes.
That's how I lost a lot of my weight.
You are reading our minds.
So is that something you're looking to do?
Yeah, coffee, teas, and maybe in the summer shakes and
Nice.
juices.
Can
and
I be a
stuff.
business partner in this? I like this. I like
Yes,
this idea.
you can. Yes.
I'll bring all the hot tea. Paul has a go ahead, Paul.
Only if we can see your legs. Are they hot legs?
How hot are your legs?
How hot are
Well,
your
my
legs?
wife does say,
I like
you know,
it.
Paul,
I like it, Paul.
I did run track my whole life, Paul. So my wife, I think, will give you a thumbs up. But no, really, I think the whole cafe thing with the Serenity, with the yoga, with the boutique, it's a really cool concept.
My kids beg to go there after school.
Do they
That's,
really?
That's how magical it is.
That
And
is, I did
yes.
see your guys' kids running around,
Yes.
having a good old time. They're actually in our ribbon cutting video.
Isn't that
Count-
cute?
counting
It's
down?
my favorite part, and
Isn't
you can
it?
hear them
Yeah.
celebrating.
Yes,
It's
yes.
amazing. Yeah.
So I know we only have about a minute left. Where could they find you guys as far as social media? Can we share that, please?
Yes, our website, so it's hautelegs.org,
How do you spell that?
HAUTELEGS.org, O-R-G.
Okay.
Yes.
Perfect, because I know it's a different spelling, right?
Yes.
And
and
it's
then-
is that like a French you said, or what was it? The
It's supposed to be like hot cuisine.
Or like haute couture.
Okay.
Like a play
It's
on
a
words for
fashion.
fashion.
Oh, it's a
high-
fashion.
It's
Yes.
a French word. It's
Yes,
supposed to
haute
mean
couture
real-
is high fashion.
Yeah.
Look at Paul. Paul's got it down.
Paul, just ask Paul. He
Paul
knows
knows.
it.
Paul
Paul
knows. Okay, and then I know you guys have Instagram,
Yes.
right? There's a Facebook, right?
Yes.
So, do you want to give our handles?
Yes, our Instagram handle is HAUTE, HAUTE, with an underscore legs, LEGS. And Facebook, we are Hot Legs Boutique.
And if they wanted to be part of one of your classes or anything, could they send you a message there? How do they, or what do they have to do? Or just show up?
They can just show up for
Okay.
right now. As the classes start to book up, we will have a sign up on our website along with sign-ups for events. So if the community wants to come check it out, do birthday parties, dinners, I mean,
Vanessa's going to create a whole different app on all of this. I can
yeah.
already see it.
We're going to have it dialed in.
Right?
with
The whole
tech,
calendar,
for sure.
schedule.
You know me already.
You're most likely right.
But
Yeah.
it'll be a good experience. But more than anything, when you get there, you're just going to love it. And so we're stoked to bring that to the
Well,
community for sure.
Congratulations to both of you.
Thank you.
I'd like to, finish the show by saying this is more than just, a community business. I want to say to everybody, I've been there. I was there this weekend. It's a place of healing. And with a lot of people going through whatever it may be right now, right? With health and wellness or mental stress, anxiety, it's a very nice place of serenity that
Yeah.
you can, like you said, bring your kids, bring your family, obviously do a little bit of shopping, do one of the classes, right?
And more than anything, I mean, just I think along with the theme of what this podcast is about is we are all about community.
Yes.
Everything we do has to do with giving back to our people. And I think that that's why I feel like we have visitors that come in, because as a community, when you build that, you are never alone. And so we just love that part of it. We love what we're doing, and it's our passion. It's what drives us.
Well, folks, you heard it here with Sarah and Vanessa, the CEO and the COO of Hot Legs, HAUTE, in case you look it up. Go support our small businesses, right? Because they are what makes up our community, which is, of course, what this show is about here at the Orange County Hispanic Chamber of Commerce. If you have any questions, leave us a comment, send us a DM, and we'll connect you with Vanessa or Sarah. But most importantly, thank you, Sarah, and thank you, Vanessa, for being here. We wish you all the luck, and hopefully we'll see you guys soon in the show and give us an update in the next year, okay?
Absolutely. Thank you so
Thank
much
you
for
so
having
much.
us. We
All right,
appreciate
folks,
it.
there you have it. Take it away, Paul.
Well, there you have it. If that isn't hot, I don't know what is. Hot cuisine, hot couture, and hot legs right here on Our Community podcast. Streaming live from our studios here at the University of California, Irvine's Beale Applied Innovation Center. Powered by the Orange County Hispanic Chamber of Commerce and Orange County's only community radio station, OC Talk Radio.